They're just jealous. Kraken's voice pulled me out of my musings. Greedy bastards. He nodded at the indignant players in the front, still fuming over Romulus's luck. They'd be over the moon if the corporation offered them an advertising contract. Personally, I'd be over the moon. With that kind of money, you're fixed for life, man. Only who would want us with our mediocre levels and pathetic rankings? You need to make the top 500 at least, or have charisma in buckets like that dude with his flying mount. His last phrase came as a complete surprise to me. It took all of my self-control to keep the poker face and mumble my agreement. My point entirely. The guy behind us butted in, sticking his narrow, thickly freckled face through the gap between our seat backs. From what I remembered, his game name was Cougar. I'm sick and tired of all those soccer players and movie stars peddling stuff on billboards and TV. Same old faces. It's about time gamers had their chance. At least it would add a bit of variety. If you ask me, this is only the beginning, Kraken said pointedly. The glasshouse owners haven't even started yet. You give them some time. Like the other night I went to check out Berlin's nightlife with the boys. We popped into this bar for a couple of beers. Cougar and I couldn't help smirking. They shoved the beer cart at us like they always do, he continued, ignoring our sarcasm. And what do you think? I started looking through the card and guess what? You passed out from just seeing their prices? Cougar offered with a guffaw. Oh, do shut up. Kraken waved the jibe away, then added after a pause. Actually, there was that to it too, but that's not what I'm talking about. Guess what I saw on the list? Dwarven Double Rainbow, Black Gnome, Alvin Wheat Ale. A good dozen of them in total, and that wasn't all. When I asked for the menu, I saw roast lamb Melonville style, Papa Grudo's green pudding, etc., etc. Know what I mean? Cougar shrugged. What's there to know? These days, every restaurant worth their salt serves glasshouse food, which tastes exactly how it does in the game. It had to be expected. They haven't even started yet. I've just read they're about to start filming a series set in Mirror World. They went on talking, discussing all sorts of new stuff introduced by the corporation. Beer, t-shirts, toys, TV series. And still, I had a funny feeling we could only see the tip of the iceberg. The rest of it was a giant chunk of ice lurking deep below. Still, what we could see was already a lot. Apart from all sorts of advertising junk, Reflex Group owned at least one airline, a chain of filling stations, and well over a dozen clinics and research labs. Ironically, the clinic that had performed the heart surgery on my daughter Krista also turned out to be one of their own, and so was the occupational therapy center where my brother had transferred me to, as was the Japanese lab where they'd grown a new heart for my daughter. Once I'd spent some quality time on the internet, I discovered that the glasshouse owners actively invested in cutting-edge medicine and pharmaceuticals. Everywhere you turned, the evidence of their presence was there, from space programs to IT technologies to alternative energy. Actually, the VR pod I'd been using recently was infinitely more advanced than those installed in communal module centers, even though my extended immersion experience had reduced me to a rather vegetative state. After the initial few days IRL, I'd begun to recuperate remarkably quickly. What's more, despite all that time spent lying belly up inside the pod, I was actually fitter now than I'd been before the immersion. Even my eyesight had improved. And that wasn't all. Now that my Krista had had her heart transplant, her health was improving in leaps and bounds, all thanks to the newest medications courtesy of Samura Pharmaceuticals, which, incidentally, also belonged to Reflex Group. All of this prompted a logical question. What was the actual purpose of them creating Mirror World? Was it a game? Or could it be the testing grounds for some revolutionary new technologies? Because if the latter was true, I dreaded to even contemplate the mental state of the first volunteers who dared lay in the very first prototype VR pods. Because there must have been some volunteer beta testers involved, right? Incidentally, my internet search had produced no mention of them. So whenever people started discussing Glasshouse beer and the company's aggressive promotion tactics, I just smiled. All this